Let's get it on!
Let them fight.
Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of Versus. If you don't know what Versus is, this is a series I do over here on Tomb of Terrors, where we take the original film and pit it up against its remake, its reimagining, its the new version. And as always, I have a very special guest, my sometimes guest that always comes on these with me. And that's
right. I got my way, people.
And that's my wife, Kara. Everybody loves when you come on these or any episode.
I think it's because I give you crap.
I think that's part of it. That's part of it. But, you know, we have good discussions. And for this Versus, we are going to be talking the original 1985 Fright Night, which is celebrating 40th anniversary. I can't believe it's 40 years old. And then we're going to talk the 2011 version, the remake of Fright Night. We don't really know how either feels about this. We've watched them both and kind of made little comments, but not very many beforehand. So I don't know how she feels about these movies. I have seen both of them previously. I've seen the original one countless times.
Why?
Oh boy, here we go. Let's go ahead and we'll dive into Fright Night from 1985. Charlie Brewster, a high school student, accidentally discovers the true and creepy nature of Jerry, his dashing and enigmatic new neighbor, but no one seems willing to believe him. This is written and directed by Tom Holland, and for those young listeners, not that Tom Holland. It stars Chris Sarandon, William Ragsdale, Amanda Bierce, Roddy McDowall, and many others. This came out in August of 1985. And it's a full 80s movie, and honestly, I'm going to say right now, that's why I love it. But Fright Night, what did you think of? This is the first time you'd ever seen it that you remember anyways. What did you think of Fright Night?
It was a true 80s movie through and through. There were a lot of plot holes, which I do think the new one was a little bit better at shoring up. I'm having a hard time because the way they told the story seemed like it took them much longer to get to a finality, whereas the more recent one, it either wrapped it up faster, but just the way they managed to do some of the endings seemed to make it flow a little bit better.
I know what you mean. This one, this version, it takes its time with things.
It does. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's weird.
It's very much a Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window type of Boy Who Cried Wolf. And I know Tom Holland, that's kind of what he wanted to write, was a boy who cried wolf, his neighbor's a vampire, but well, people loved it. And they did. It was a very popular movie. It had been a few years since rewatching this, that just how 80s this movie is.
Had to have your gratuitous boob shot.
You open up with Charlie and his girlfriend Amy. They're making out in their house while Fright Night is on. You know, Fright Night hosted by Peter Vincent, who is played by Roddy McDowall. He's like that late night. I mean, that was a big thing in the 80s, 90s, the late night hosting
I would
TV
even
shows.
go early 2000s if you didn't have cable.
There are still some now, like Joe Bob Briggs and some others out there, but they're not as...
There's truly somebody still named Joe Bob?
Yes.
Like, that's his for real name.
Joe Bob Briggs. He does horror movies. Bob. He's been doing it for a very long time. But you have a late night host. Charlie's a fan, but he's more concerned about making out with his girlfriend and trying to score here. And she's like, no. She's putting the kibosh on it.
Fright Night is on. It's your favorite.
Yeah, it's your favorite. But then he notices there's new neighbors moving in. They're taking a coffin into the house. And then all of a sudden she decides, oh, okay, fine. You know, we'll just go ahead and do this. But then Charlie is distracted by this coffin going into the house, new neighbors coming into the house.
At night.
Well, I mean, that's when you got to move a coffin into a house, right?
Sure.
And she gets upset with them. Mom is just oblivious to everything, which is kind of funny. That's a difference. We'll get to the remake Mom and how things are here in a little bit, but it has, like you said, it has all your tropes as you go along. You have Evil Ed, his good buddy at school. He's like that typical, almost nerdy kid, kind of over-the-top kid that's friends with them. You have gratuitous boob shots. You have the practical effects is probably my favorite part of this movie. It's just a fun film.
There's a lot of overacting.
There's a lot of overacting. And like you said,
acting with a capital A.
It takes its time of, is he a vampire? Is he not a vampire? You are left
to speculate definitely longer with this one than you are the other one.
Yes.
Because really, it could be that the kid is reading way too much into what is going on next door.
The funny thing is, I know we talked as we were watching it of, where does he live next door? Does he not live next? Because he always pulls out binoculars.
Right.
And looking in. And I'm like, how far away next door is this house? It didn't seem that. If he could see him moving in a coffin.
It would seem that it was right next door, but then you wouldn't need your binoculars
to see these women in the window.
Right.
That he sees bite on the neck. And then that's when it all kind of sets off. And I think wasn't there a scene where he gets in his car? It's before the vampire destroys his car. He gets in the car and like he's driving to the neighbor's house. I forgot what it was because you're like, how far away does he live? And I was like, I thought he was just next door.
Yeah. There was a part where he had to take something to the neighbor for his mom or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but he had to drive to the neighbors. I'm like, why are you driving to your neighbors?
Yeah. And that's where we were like, how far away? Because he does have binoculars, but I don't know. But anyway, you have Jerry, the common...
Jerry the vampire. Let's just start
the common
there.
Vampire name of Jerry.
And here's the thing. In the 80s, I would say the age of pretend vampire, that is a pretty typical name. I'll give you, like, if you think about people, when you were 10 years old, your parents' friends, there were several Jerrys. Jerry was not an uncommon name. No,
I think there were a few Jerrys that my parents knew that.
And I think that with the new one, that is the thing that kills me the most, is that he's
still
Colin
Jerry.
Farrell is still Jerry, the vampire in 2011.
One big difference, we don't always jump into the comparison until after. Should we just jump into the new one too and just compare the two?
I think we should, because I don't know that I can do it any other way with this one.
Yeah, because they're so much the same, but then so much different. Unlike our previous two that we did with House of Wax and April Fool's Day, which their remakes were
vastly
way different than the first one. This is very similar, but a lot of changes to it.
And I don't know. I think I like the 2011 version better.
Oh, them fighting words.
Well, and you got to hear me out here. And I'm not sure if it is because it is simply newer or because I like what they do with the storyline better. And I think it is the second one.
Well, since we're going to do the two, I'll just say Fright Night from 2011, directed by Craig Gillespie. A teenager suspects his neighbor is a vampire. What? Unable to convince anyone, he tries to enlist the help of a self-proclaimed vampire hunter and magician, which is different from the original. This stars the late Anton Yelchin, Colin Farrell, Toni Collette, David Tennant, Imogen Poots, Dave Franco.
Oh, her last name's really Poots.
Yeah, it is.
And she left it? I mean, she could have changed it. We got Joe Bob and Poots over here.
And we also have McLovin is in this movie.
That he is.
This came out August 2011. We have these two Fright Night movies that are very similar. You have Jerry the vampire who moves in next door.
I felt like they did a better job with that one of just setting up, hey, this dude's moving in next door. Like, we need people to move in here. And then they finally move in.
Yeah.
And his mom is the one who's actually like, what is going on over here? Why in the world is there a dumpster? It is making it hard for me to sell houses. Why is there so much concrete? They're not building a pool. Like, mom is the one with the binoculars this time.
This new one takes place in Vegas. So they're kind of like
which
out
I
in the
also
desert,
think fits.
because they even state in it of, oh yeah, he works he works nights and sleeps during the day because we're in Vegas, and that's
normal
that's what
life.
people do.
Yeah.
Because it's such a huge nightlife of a city. That is a huge difference. The remake hits the vampire thing much sooner in the movie. They waste no time getting to the point that he's a vampire.
None. They
do change Charlie's character because they make him and his friend Ed have
fallen out.
And they're not really the close friends like in the original. And Charlie is trying to be like one of the cool kids. He thinks he needs to be one of the cool kids because he thinks that's how he and Amy are together. So he's hanging out with Dave Franco and his buddies who are like the douchey high school kids. All while Ed is the one kind of investigating this vampire secretly.
Yes.
And trying to tell him like, hey, he's a vampire, whatever, man.
And one of the things that is different, they still use it in this one, but they spend quite a bit of time in the first one talking about the disappearance of these girls. There is more than one disappearance that happens. Yeah. And so that's kind of what sets some things off because he sees one of the girls who quote unquote disappears go into Jerry's house. And so the first one, you've seen the news, you've seen people talking about it. The remake, they just kind of hop into it. Suddenly, the nerdy friend is like, no, so-and-so's missing. We have to get this taken. You have to come. And it's like, okay, why do we care that he's not answering your calls?
Yeah, because you don't get the big news things in the remake. It's more every time they go to class, they're doing a roll call and they're saying names and those kids aren't there.
And I work in a high school. No one cares.
Or the houses in the neighborhood around them, all of a sudden, oh, they're not home anymore. They haven't been here for a while.
Right.
Kind of thing. So it doesn't really... The thing about the remake, on rewatching it, I remember enjoying it. I still enjoyed it, but everything happens much faster in the remake, whereas the original, it kind of lets things kind of play out slowly of this... more of the boy who cried wolf kind of thing of
agreed.
Is Charlie crazy? People not believing him more than this one, which he does. And you do get that, but
but even the disbelief isn't as much.
Yeah. Cause in the original, he tells his friend Ed and Amy, and when they finally kind of start to believe him, he goes to Peter Vincent to convince him like, oh, you kill vampires and all this stuff on the show. You know a lot of things.
Come help us.
When Charlie goes, Peter's like, you're kind of a crazy dude, man, whatever. But in the original, Ed and Amy go to Peter to convince him like, hey, we need help. Charlie needs his help. Whereas in the new one, Ed dies. He's one of the first people to die or disappear. Sorry, he disappears early. I mean, they're not good friends. And Amy, he's kind of blowing her off on a lot of things when he's trying to figure things out, which is, they're more of a group of friends in the original, whereas this one is just kind of, hey, they're all random individuals.
They're all kids at a high school.
Yeah.
In the first one, Jerry also has a friend. Who is kind of like the helper and helps make sense for, and I guess they would have needed it because they take care of that with the Vegas thing. Like, no, he sleeps during the day.
Yeah.
Whereas the random friend.
What do they usually call familiar is what they usually call them for vampires. That's what this person in the original one is, which they're calling his carpenter. Does all the work for him around the house during the day and stuff like that when he's away, in quotes, working.
Right.
Whereas in the remake, they, like you said, they set it in Vegas, so they just kind of cut that whole piece out of it.
And I mean, honestly, it works better.
It does. I don't know. I like the familiar helper guy. I just like the original so much. I have a lot of history watching the original, so the original hits so much.
Things out there.
It's just one of those 80s movies that's
good.
Just entertaining.
It's not that good. It's not that good. 2011 is arguably better.
No, it
yes,
is. No,
it is.
I will say what didn't age well in the 2011, which is, only 14 years?
Yeah.
That CG.
Oh, it's bad.
It looks awful.
It's real bad. Agreed. So while we were watching this, and we watched this very recently, we came up with some questions. And so the hive mind of listeners, do vampires bleed? And when we looked it up, there were 2 schools of thought. Yes and no, but when they do bleed,
Obviously.
It's either very thick and it's usually black and not red.
Because it's like congealed blood because they're dead.
And that definitely was not portrayed
no,
in 2011.
not at all.
I mean, it was just red. What was the other one that we asked? Can they be awake during the day? Like, do vampires have to sleep? Or is we're not out during the day just because they don't want to be in the sunlight? Because then it seems to me like, I mean, you could very easily hang out inside and not be around sun.
Yeah. Like in this day and age, just work from home.
Exactly. Like you wouldn't, the coffin becomes very not necessary. Get some blackout shades and call yourself good.
Which they still had their windows blacked out in them. In both versions, the windows are blacked out. Whereas the remake, Jerry doesn't have a basement. It's like a back room. Jerry. It's like a back room that's like all white. And
that's where all the concrete's coming from. Like he's tunneled into something. Like I can't figure this out. It's like it's the link through the wardrobe, literally. Like it's like he goes in the closet and
it's like the secret white room with these locked, almost like padded cells. And he finds one of the neighbor girls in there when Charlie breaks in. One of the neighbor girls.
No, she was a stripper.
I thought it was the girl he talked to at the beginning.
Yes, but she's a stripper, which is how they explain that she's...
Because she's in Vegas. They work at night. Some people are strippers. Some people just work casinos and do all the nighttime things.
Now, one of the differences, and I actually like the mom being in on it, the 80s trope of like the parents being clueless is completely played out in the first one.
Oh, yes.
Completely played out.
Mom has no clue.
None
because
whatsoever.
He has to, the vampires have to be invited to come into the house. So in the original, Charlie's like, perfect. He hasn't been invited in. He won't be able to get in the house. He comes home and his mom is sitting there with Jerry like, oh, I invited the neighbor in. And he's like, son of a bitch.
But then in this one, he tells his mom, hey, look, I know you're talking to Jerry and you think he's a good guy. He just gives me the creeps. I'd stay away from him. Whatever you do, please don't invite him into the house alone. Keep the doors locked.
And she's like, why? And he's like, just do it. And so she listens to him. This was kind of what Jerry does. He goes, digs in their backyard and pulls their gas pipes to start burning the house.
First, he tries to get Charlie to ask him into the house.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I have a girl coming over. Can you give me, a 6? Do you guys have any beer? I'm out. And he goes, I don't know. Let me go check.
Oh, yeah. He just stands at the doorway.
And he stands at the door because Charlie won't let him in.
Yeah.
Charlie even tests him like, okay, I'm going to hold out the beer and then I'll see if he
slowly
can
pull it back a little bit
and see if he can bring his hand over. And he didn't. Which I do think tipped Jerry off.
Yeah.
That Charlie knew.
Well, this one, Colin Farrell's Jerry always did like the smell, could smell things. As where the first one, I think he knew,
what do you mean he could smell things?
Colin Farrell, he would always go sniff, because he even made comments about his smell and Amy's smell, how different they are, and how I think he even said the fear. I smell the fear, and I know.
I didn't.
Because when he's in the back room, the white room, when Jerry comes in and he hides.
I saw him
he stopped and just kind of did a little sniff.
Yeah.
Whereas in the original, he doesn't quite do that.
No, he doesn't do that at all. I didn't notice that even a little bit. Now, my favorite part, quite possibly, of the remake is their version of Vincent Price. Or what's his name? Charlie Price.
Peter Vincent.
Peter Vincent.
Which
is based on Vincent Price.
Yes, based off of Peter Cushing and Vincent Price.
Yes.
Originally, they wanted to have Vincent Price, but he was in his later stages in life, and he's like, I can't do horror and health and everything. But
anyways, Peter Vincent, their version of Peter Vincent is David Tennant. And he is freaking awesome. I like his character so much better than the quirky has-been.
I don't know. I like the quirky has-been. This one, they make him kind of like that Chris Angel Las Vegas magician, because that's exactly what he is. He's the Las Vegas magician show that people go to see him fight demons and vampires and do all kinds of crazy tricks. And he's got like tattoos.
He's an asshole, but
piercings.
He is so funny.
He is an asshole. They gave him a little bit of a backstory,
which is what I think I liked about it, because it made a lot more sense as to why, he has all the crap that he has in his personal house.
Yes, like the stakes and various religious items, because as a kid, his family was killed by vampires.
Yes.
And he survived. It comes out at the end that Jerry knew of him
Jerry is the one who killed his mom.
Of him, of everything. So they kind of
they didn't
have
better.
That piece in the original.
So you know who the original reminds me of? the original Peter Vincent.
Oh, Roddy McDowell?
Uh-huh. His character, even just a lot of his mannerisms, remind me of the grandpa from The Munsters.
I can kind of see that. I mean, especially in that first one, he's got the obvious sprayed on gray and white. And trying to make him older.
And maybe that's why I couldn't take him seriously the entire time.
Well, even in his show, because he does these bad B movies where he fights vampires, and he's just like a B movie star. Now he's a late night TV host.
And they do go talk to him on the day he's gotten fired.
Yes. I love...
Remove nostalgia.
Okay.
How can you claim that it's better?
I think it's the slow burn. It's the slow burn of the first one.
I disagree.
I like that they took their time with the mystery of Jerry and everything else.
But there's no mystery.
There isn't, but I like that Rear Window-esque story of that original one, whereas the remake, they kind of... Some of it's there, but they
do go much faster.
It away.
They do go much faster.
And it turns into like a CGI fest. And I even looked, because there are many scenes where stuff flies at the camera, and I was like, was this
3D,
released in 3D? Yeah. And it was.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. That was the thing. We got to throw something at them.
Right. But, for example, I like the fact that when Jerry realizes in the 2011 version that they're on to him, Amy, Mom, Charlie are all in the house, and they're trying to talk him into why they need to listen to him and why things are the way that they are. Jerry comes and knocks on the door, and he's like, do not let him in. Do not answer the door.
Right before he goes to burn the house down.
And so then he goes and starts digging in the backyard, and his mom's like, what in the hell is he doing in my backyard?
Yeah.
And he grabs the gas line,
and
cuts it, and then pulls it out so that it'll disconnect from the stove and everything. And then he lights it so that it'll blow everything up.
And he says, if there's no house,
I can come in. And then it puts all three of them on the same course together, as opposed to it takes him so long to convince these other people.
Well, I think he convinces Ed and Amy sooner than
he does
than Peter. Mom is just a non-factor.
Oblivious, yeah. Which goes back to the do whatever you want, kids.
I like Ed from the original one better than, I like...
Ed annoyed me.
In the original one, he's supposed to be like that goofy character. I felt like he got more of as a character than in the new one. Like, he was one of the first ones to die in the remake. And then we don't see him for another
30
hour,
minutes,
maybe.
30, 45 minutes, yeah.
And in the original one, he comes back. Like, his death scene it takes a long time for him to die, but it's one of those, like, I think the way it's filmed and the way that Evil Ed reacts with everything of, like, this truly, even when he gets turned, when he's crying, like, truly the end. I just liked his Ed arc better than the remake, whereas, like, oh, he's in there, okay, we'll take him out, we'll throw him in at the end and give him a little, like, piece.
Okay.
That's just me.
I also like not the final scene, but the scene where they finally decide that he comes to Peter Vincent's house. I like that scene better.
Okay. What about the final showdown? In the original, they go into his house for the final showdown
yes.
where Amy there was a whole seduction in a club, which is kind of weird because she's a high schooler. He's an older man, but we won't dive into that. He takes Amy and he has turned her, and you get people who know Fright Night. You get the iconic her in the white dress, and when she turns, like the practical effects of the big mouth and all the teeth is kind of an image that you always see when you see the 85 Fright Night.
And they did it again in this one.
All CG'd, and it didn't look good.
It was kind of terrifying, but only because it was so bad.
Did you like the final showdown of the original in his house? Whereas in the new one, they put her in the white dress, had all that, but then this is where you find the underground, like, area where he, like, locks him up, and they have a whole bunch of vampire creatures that he had buried in the dirt that crawl out and come after him.
Well, but it was all the people he had killed there. So, like, the two friends came back.
Yeah.
The one girl who was the stripper came back. Like, the other girl that had gone missing, like, they all came back. I think that was dumb because technically it is still in his house. The final showdown is still in his house.
It is, but the
way they set it up is stupid.
The whole, here's all my victims that I had, and now they're just buried in my basement. My favorite
was like, was like, oh, we're going to drop down into the floor. Oh, look, we've got a shed in here. It was dumb. That was really, really stupid. And take this one step further. You've got the floorboards because they carried it through with the floorboards from above. And in the original, it was him shooting out the basement windows.
The glass.
The glass so that the sun will come in.
Yeah.
Which makes sense to me. In this, it's floorboards. So what? The whole house upstairs is filled with sunlight?
They broke windows open before they went downstairs because their windows, because I wrote down when they were breaking the windows, it's like that glass that you get in a windshield where it doesn't shatter.
Yeah, it's the shatterproof. But even beyond that, I'm thinking right now, I am in the basement of our home.
Yeah.
If we blew out the floor above
with a shotgun, it would not blow out.
With a shotgun, wouldn't blow out, but let's pretend that it would. We have a lot of windows in our house. We do.
Yes.
Where we are sitting right now, there would be no sunlight that would hit either one of us.
No, not at all.
And we have a lot of windows. And we are currently right now underneath a room where the entire back wall and front wall are windows. We would still not have any sunlight coming in and hitting us.
No. Whereas the original, it's all glass. And
right. Like it
some
makes
stained
perfect
glass,
sense. Right.
looks cool. So when you're shooting it, yes. Obviously, it would.
Yes,
it would
and there are windows right there.
Yeah,
this made zero sense.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I did also find in the second one, I found it funny, like genuine, like funny, haha, where he grabs the lady that's been bitten. She's like, "Thank you so much for saving me," and they run outside and she burns up.
Where she burns and they explode.
Yeah,
whoa. I was like, oh. And I know
that was also for the 3D effects, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, because it flew at the camera. Like there was a leg and an arm that flew at the camera. And I was like, what's this in 3D?
Yeah, but I did find that to be genuinely funny. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny.
So you like the remake more than
I do.
The original?
I like the plot of it better because the people in the first one, the acting was awful. And even beyond that, I don't mind a slow burn if there's like some decent dialogue and some decent like, okay, we have to do this to make this happen, and it's going to come back to it. It didn't come back to it. It was just, hey, most movies are 90 minutes long at this point, and so we need to fill time for 90 minutes to get to this climactic scene.
Well, it's kind of like it wasn't so much a Scooby-Doo mystery. The remake, they tried to throw a piece in there of like, oh, Ed had a whole bunch of videos to where you don't see the vampire on video to prove that he was a vampire, because Charlie didn't believe at first either.
No.
He's like, whatever, dude. He's
like,
my neighbor's
he was
just,
like, this was fun when we were 8.
yeah.
We're 18. Stop.
Yeah. My neighbor's just a weird creeper, which he was much more of a creeper in this remake than
Oh, I don't know.
the original
I found the
one.
other one. Fun fact that we discovered on the last one, because I kept claiming that I thought for sure I knew who Jerry, like I'd seen Jerry in other things. I had not. But Jerry is the voice of Jack in Nightmare Before Christmas. And we did not know that.
And I don't know how I didn't know that, because I love that movie so much. But yes, Chris Sarandon is the voice of Jack in Nightmare Before Christmas.
But I felt like he was like that slimy, leering dude.
And he makes an appearance in the remake.
He does.
There's like a car crash and he comes out and the Colin Farrell Jerry kills him in this whole CGI car chase where he throws a motorcycle and things fly at you. And
yes.
That's my biggest issue with the remake, is just the CGI fest of it. It's been, I think I saw it when it originally came out in 2011. I haven't watched it since then. I was like, oh, I remember enjoying this. I still enjoyed it, but it was one of those, like, you could tell.
You have purposely watched the other one since 2011 and didn't watch this one.
Correct.
Other than when you made me watch the original.
Yeah, I've watched the original a number of times. I like the original Fright Night.
I like the second one much better. And again, like I said, I don't know if it's because the story is updated.
It's because Colin Farrell,
actually,
David Tennant.
I don't like Colin Farrell.
Okay.
I do like David Tennant. He always entertains me. But
I do like Anton Yelchin. I thought,
yes,
I like him as Charlie. But
yes,
I know you said it might be nostalgia, but I've always liked the original Fright Night. It's one of those I rented multiple times when I was younger.
Good.
And both of these films got sequels. Fright Night
I'm
Part.
not really surprised by that.
Fright Night Part 2 with the Roddy McDowall and our Charlie came back for Part 2. The remake got a Part 2, but it was a straight to video Part 2. So Charlie was recast, others were recast. I have never seen that Part 2.
Let me ask you a question, because I can't remember in the original. Do they go with the whole, if you use this specific steak from St. Michael, you can bring everyone back? No.
In that one, it's just if you kill that original vampire.
Then the other one's
because Amy goes, she's a vampire. They kill him and she goes back.
Because technically, no, we even see it. Ed probably doesn't come back.
Well, they kill Ed.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Ed doesn't come back.
Like chopping his head.
But
Ed's
like
dead,
the other ground vampires, we'll just call them the ground vampires.
Yes.
They are all resurrected.
Yes, and they turn back human.
Into normal.
Ed dies. They kill Dave Franco, right? Because he burns. A few of them burn.
No, he didn't burn.
He didn't?
No,
I know there were a few that did.
No, because he, like, whenever he's resurrected, he's like,
oh,
damn,
that's right.
That was a crazy night.
He didn't remember everything of what happened. Yes, that's right. A few of the other vampires
get burned by the sunlight that couldn't actually be there.
From shooting through the floor, which, how thin is your floor if you can easily shoot through it like that?
And it looked like 2x4s.
You like the remake. I think you're wrong. The original is much better. Not that I hate the remake. I don't hate the remake. It's just,
I think
it's not nearly as good as the original.
You're wrong.
I am not wrong.
You are wrong. Stay tuned. I'm going to make him watch The Sound of Music sometime, guys.
Speaking of music.
Oh, this is the best part of the entire
film.
The
remake has a cover of 99 Problems.
And it is freaking phenomenal. If you've watched Sinners, we're sitting there, we're both sitting here thinking like how much we like the song, and I look at Brad, I'm like, you know why we like this? Because it's like the music from Sinners.
Yes. It's a band called Hugo. They did a cover of 99 Problems that plays during the credits.
Awesome.
And it's very bluesgrassy, like
bluegrassy folk.
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes.
It's great. Best takeaway from the remake by far.
I agree. We can agree on that. The original is still a better film. The credit music of the 99 Problems cover is better than the 80s Fright Night song.
I will make my case real fast for why 85. And I will say for many 80s movies, not all of them.
Okay.
For many 80s movies, I would say this is somewhat of the problem. They have no idea what their point is. And they're just filming as they go along and cutting it together. Like, I do not think that this movie, they probably filmed far more and they cut, which is normal. Mm-hmm. And this is what they deem to be their best version. I think that there are probably pieces that were cut out that could have made it a more cohesive film. I think that you were relying completely on nostalgia. There are not even very many like jump scares or anything about the first one that actually makes it scary. It is relying on equal parts goofy.
Yes.
Which I don't know that I went in thinking goofy, but equal parts goofy.
It's listed as a horror comedy, but
goofy and tropes.
Yes, it does.
And I don't even know that they knew that they were buying into tropes, but they're like, oh, well, all other movies that have done well in the early 80s have had X, Y, and Z. So we're going to do X, Y, and Z.
I think Tom Holland knew because this is the first movie he ever directed. Before this, he wrote some movies, Cloak and Dagger and Psycho 2.
Which I love Cloak and Dagger.
He was known, his name around, and he wrote this one kind of as fun originally because he wrote another script that he hated the movie they made from it. So he wrote this one to direct, and he did. He ultimately went on to make Child's Play as well. Would be a few years later, he made Child's Play.
Never saw it.
Maybe a Future Versus. But I think he knew the tropes. He knew everything. And that's kind of what he wanted to put in it, is just kind of make it that. It works for me. I like it. There's a documentary out that I want to see that's called You're So Cool, Brewster. And it's like 4 hours long where they behind the scenes talk Fright Night and Fright Night Part 2 of the making and talking interviews with everybody involved.
Was
and
this
everything
considered
else.
a groundbreaking film?
I don't think it was groundbreaking. It was very popular. It did well for its time. I think it did $24 million, which in 85 for a horror movie was
and I guess
good.
When I think about 80s horror, I'm thinking more Stephen King horror. Because those were truly horror films. If you think Poltergeist, or Carrie, or Christine, or any of those actually are kind of scary.
They are, but Poltergeist is still scary.
Poltergeist is
Steven
terrifying.
Spielberg, Tobe Hooper, like it's a scary movie. I
don't feel like they belong in the same plane.
This is the more of the goofy side of the horror.
Well, I would even call Gremlins more of a horror film.
I mean, that's also a goofy.
I wouldn't call it as goofy. Like, there is a cohesive story in Gremlins. This seems to me like it's like, we want to make a vampire movie. How could we make it different?
Different but the same, which they did, and it works for me. I'll watch it again.
Why? There are so many other movies.
It's what I do.
Hi. When Brad is no longer doing this, it'll be because I've created a list of things for him to actually accomplish around the house, since he obviously has way too much time on his hands.
No, you are not watching Fright Night for the 40th time. You need to do this.
Put up the shelf in the bathroom.
On that note, anything more you want to say about either Fright Night film? Would you watch the sequel to the original or the direct sequel to?
Probably not. I would probably watch the 2011 one again. I thought it was fun. When watching it the second time, I would have to make fun of it.
There's plenty to make fun of.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you on the CGI is atrocious. And at the time, we would have thought it was great.
Yeah, our 13-year-old was watching it with us, and he was calling it out. Like, even the green screen on it, he's like, this looks so fake. And I was like, yeah, it does.
He's like, this is very obviously green screen.
Like, yeah.
Like, you're not wrong, kid.
I love the original. You love the remake. We'll leave it at that.
No, I did not say I love the remake.
You love it. You said you'd rewatch it. You like it more.
I like it more. I didn't say I love it. I love Sinners.
Well,
That's a phenomenal movie.
That's on a whole different level.
It is.
You like the remake more than the original, and I'm vice versa.
But we can agree that the song is fantastic.
Correct. The cover song is fantastic. I will say, if you've watched both of these, let me know what you think. Who is correct? Who do you agree with? Who do you not agree with?
Do vampires bleed?
Do vampires bleed?
And do they have to sleep during the day? Like, do vampires have to sleep? That's what I want to know. Do they, if they are the undead, seems like sleep wouldn't be necessary. Other thing I noted, and maybe this is because I've read Twilight, so don't come. Actually, you can come for me. There
were Twilight comments in the remake.
There were, and they were great. Why in the world does he keep eating apples?
Funny you mentioned that. The original actor, he just did it for fun. Like, it was just one of those things that he just did just to add to his character. And they're like, oh, okay, that works. And so in the new one,
they're green apples.
They are. In the original one, red apples.
Yeah.
So in the remake, they just left it in there. Colin Farrell ate an apple just because he did it.
Well, and that's where I'm like, okay, if you're a vampire, you don't need to eat. Like, you don't digest things. So, again, do they need to eat anything other than blood? And do they have to sleep? I want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know. Well, you know what? Just let me know. I'll make sure that you know if anyone comments. That will do it for this Versus. Just make sure you subscribe to the show so you don't miss any episode I do over here, whether it's quick reviews, interviews, Versus, Tales from Tuvi, whatever it may be. But I will be back soon with a brand new episode. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.